Although World War II did not take a holiday, people around the world, especially in Europe, did their best to celebrate Christmas. During the war years, the availability of food for traditional feasts and gift items became scarce due to rationing. Additionally, many companies shifted to wartime production to meet the needs of the country. In December 1940, Britain was in the midst of the Blitz, a series of devastating air raids by German forces that destroyed many cities in Britain, including London, Birmingham, and Bristol, claiming tens of thousands of lives. One of the hardest-hit cities was Manchester. Known as the Christmas Blitz, the city was bombarded for 2 nights between December the 22nd and 24th, 1940. Almost 700 people lost their lives, and 2,000 others were injured. In addition to hundreds of tons of explosives, almost 2,000 incendiary bombs were dropped on the city, causing fires to break out and spread among the crowded streets with commercial buildings and warehouses in Manchester. Unfortunately, most of the city's firefighters were in Liverpool at the time, dealing with the aftermath of the attacks there, leaving only a handful of people to handle the fires in Manchester. As a result, many buildings that could have been saved were lost. However, people across England came together to celebrate Christmas during the war, known as Blitzmas. In 1940, many residents of major cities in England spent Christmas in shelters. Shelters hosted special Christmas parties, especially in the London Underground tunnels, at King's Cross St. Pancras, with singing and entertainment from the community. This Christmas also brings a different atmosphere. The dishes that usually adorn the dining table during Christmas are very difficult to obtain. Some families save their ration coupons to be able to buy additional food, but once rationing is implemented, turkey is not on the menu. During the rationing period, turkey was not included in the menu due to its expensive price. So self-raised lamb, pork, rabbit, or chicken became popular alternatives. If meat wasn't an option, a mock goose made from slices of potatoes, apples, and grated cheese was recommended. In 1941, the use of paper for anything other than wrapping food and for shipping goods was prohibited, so old newspapers were used as wrapping paper. Greeting cards were also printed on small and thin paper, and often reused in the following years. However, cards were an important way to stay connected with those at war or with evacuated children. The gifts given were often homemade, and because gift wrapping paper was very scarce, these gifts were wrapped in brown paper, newspapers, or even small pieces of fabric. Hand-knit scarves, hats, and gloves using wool unraveled from old, unused sweaters by household members were common gifts at that time. War bonds were also frequently given as gifts, as an effort to support the war. Board games like Ludo were very popular when friends and family gathered during the Christmas period, and some popular Christmas songs, such as A White Christmas and I'll Be Home for Christmas, were sung together. With men largely involved in the war effort, women are taking on a range of civilian and military roles traditionally filled by men, including playing Santa. This was an unusual, but important development during the war, reflecting broader social changes caused by the conflict. For example, in 1942, Chicago became the first city in the US to have a female Santa Claus, and in December 1943, New York City featured its first female Santa Claus, played by British actress Daisy Belmore. For American soldiers on the front lines, receiving parcels from home is one of the few highlights of their lives. The most touching moment was seeing a soldier receive a package from home and opening it with a smile. To ensure their sons had something good to open on the big day, families were recommended to send books, family photos, magazines, as well as items like fruitcakes, chocolates, and candies. To manage the overwhelming volume of mail, families were advised to send Christmas packages between September 15th and October 15th, and the Navy limited packages to under £5. While many gifts were valuable and practical, such as candies, cakes, and warm socks. Some were perplexing, like ties and cologne. In contrast to the Allies, the Nazis celebrated Christmas in a slightly different manner. They promoted the idea of Nazi Christmas, where the Nazi Party and Adolf Hitler were central to the celebration. Christmas decorations were adorned with Nazi symbols, and the angel on top of the tree was replaced with a swastika. Santa Claus was also replaced by Odin from Norse mythology, and children opening presents on Christmas Eve would find SS toy soldiers and replica Luftwaffe planes. Being separated from family and friends during the holidays made the war more challenging for those in the military. But creativity and generosity made Christmas meaningful and memorable. For many people, a simpler wartime Christmas is a return to simple joys, being with family and friends, and giving and receiving gifts thoughtfully made by loved ones.